Hey, what's going on, social media world? Aaron here, and today I wanted to do a little talk. With the iPhone 6 coming out, everybody's got the iPhone 6. I wanted to do and Android's fighting back. I wanted to do this video talking about Android compared to iPhone and the iOS. Okay, so here's my thing. Anybody who follows my Instagram at AOCM01, you know that I have been Team Android for a very long time. And a large part of my issue with Apple was, at the time, my latest knowledge of Apple was that they blocked a lot of programs from getting into their iTunes store. For better or for worse, I understood that with Apple, the requirements to get in iTunes is a lot higher than the requirements to get in the Google Play Store. But I was just like, at the end of the day, I want my apps. And I also fell in love with the Google apps. I still love Google Music and all of that stuff. I got the LG G2, okay? And the LG G2 wasn't very promoted. But around the time that my contract ended, the LG G2 was new, i.e. last December. And I went to Sprint, and they told me about this phone with these amazing stats, and the phone stats, like, I hate to use the word kill, but kill every other phone out there, because at the time, like, it was literally like the fastest processor, the fastest this, that, and the third, and all of that. So I was like, wow, and how many gigabytes? 32 gigabytes of memory. Wow, it doesn't have an expandable memory card slot, and it doesn't have a removable battery, but wow, which is cool because, with Google apps, a lot of the stuff is cloud-based anyway, and we'll talk about that at another time. But a lot of the stuff is cloud-based anyway, so, you don't really need that much memory on your phone. It's kind of like, just if you're one of those people who, like me, keeps a dirty desktop on your Windows PC, that's basically what it's for. A bunch of apps. If you don't take the time to, like, well, I haven't used this app in like 10 months, so I don't really need it anymore. If you don't do that, then you need more memory. But anyway, and like I said, that's how I am on my Windows PC. Don't even get me started. But what I realized about Apple compared to Android is only Apple makes iOS, while everybody and their next door neighbor and their next door neighbor's grandmother and their next door neighbor's grandmother's dog can make an Android phone. Anyone can make an Android phone. So, because of that, the quality varies greatly. And I was just talking with my dad about this. The quality varies greatly with the Android phone. Now, there are some, and word was out on the street that LG is not the best phone company for Android, but I was like, I want to do it. I don't think that they would release a bad phone. The phone started off decent, then they started releasing a bunch of updates, and like my GPS wouldn't even work. And I was like, what the, And what they do, because honestly, and now LG is about to come out with, not about to come out, LG has come out with the G3, which is basically the LG G2, but they fixed everything that was wrong in the G2 based on, test dummies like me who got the LG G2. So the LG G3 is probably a great phone. But I won't know because my contract isn't up until the next December, not this one. But I really won't know because I'm about to switch to Verizon Prepay for good. Bye, Sprint. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Sprint. Any and everybody can make an Android phone. And that's how they can do stuff like what they did with the LG G2, which is kind of release the phone kind of in secret and, just get a few people to buy it. Because even the people at Sprint will admit that not that many people bought the LG G2. But that's what they wanted. They didn't want that many people to buy it. They didn't want to make a lot of hoopla about it. They just wanted it to be a test phone so they can fix everything in that. They released the LG G3 like 7 months after they released the G2, you know? So they had all that time to fix all those issues, and that's what they did with that. And honestly, TBT, Samsung did the exact same thing with the LG G2, which I almost got stuck with. But after, like, right at my, I think I tried it for like a week, 2 weeks, I was like, there's some issues with this phone that aren't as great as, things just aren't working quite the way that they need to work with this phone. So I took it back and I got the Motorola Photon. The Motorola Photon is a great phone. But what Samsung did is exactly what LG G2 just recently did, which is release the Samsung Galaxy S2, and it's a piece of crap. And my best friend kept the not the LG, the Samsung Galaxy S2, and he admits, he's like, that phone was a piece of crap. And when his contract ended, he left Sprint and went right to Verizon. And that's exactly what I'm about to do. The S2 was crap. Now Samsung is coming out and they're like, well, we've been making the larger phones longer, so we know more about it than some of those other competitors. Wink, wink, Apple. But and they might have a point there, because there are a number. At this point, Samsung has done it longer, and I'm not talking about the size of the phone, but at this point, Samsung has been a consistent Android competitor for a long time. So they know a lot about what works and what doesn't work, and they don't have to release a lot of guinea pig phones to people like an LG, did. And hopefully LG's learned from its G2, and hopefully the G3 and so forth and so on will just be amazing phones for LG. But as it relates to Apple, Apple doesn't have that luxury, because they don't have the luxury of being able to release the phone in secret, or like kind of release the phone to a little bit of promotion, then it's a piece of crap, but then see everything that went wrong with it and then fix it for another release. Because when Apple releases a phone, since Apple is the only company that makes iOS, everyone who loves the iOS is going to, dare I say, crap their pants and run ASAP as quickly as possible, PDQ, to get that Apple phone. So they can't release it in secret. So when they do release it, they have to make it work. And also, something I was talking to my dad about, I got a Verizon prepay. I got the Apple the iPhone 4, not the S4. The iPhone 4 though, not the 4S either. But I got the iPhone 4, which came out in 2010, and they were still releasing updates to the iPhone 4 all the way up until this iOS 8. You will be hard pressed to find any Android phones released in 2010 that they're still bothering to send out updates for. The iPhone 4 got all the way up to iOS 7. The iPhone 4S is getting the iOS 8 update. I think Apple just has to do a better job when they come out, so they can't afford to slack like some Android companies. Long story short, I think Apple's a great company, and when my Sprint contract is up next December, I probably will look to get like the iPhone 6, because I love the sides of it. It seems really cool. And iTunes now does have Google Music as well as Google Drive and all of that stuff. You can get that on an Apple phone. So as far as I'm concerned, I like that. Those are my biggest things as it relates to being like, I must stick with Android. I can't leave Android. Those were my biggest things. And those things are now on Apple. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to say I'm an Apple boy, but I think I might be becoming that. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Peace. Be blessed.